Welcome back to Final Travesty 13. So, by the way, guys, just putting it out there, just in case you guys haven't noticed yet. In case you haven't noticed, I don't like Vanille very much. Just putting it out there, just in case you guys didn't notice.
Oh, why? I hadn't realized.
I wonder why, Pedro. I didn't notice
you
that.
hit it so well.
Pedro, are you implying that Vanille may possibly be a bad character?
Fuck yeah, I am. Anyway, Hope's profile has been updated, so more data log shit.
Not that the rest of them are much better, but okay.
During the incident of the Arid Gorge, blah, 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 not just made into a sentence, plus you the ability to sense power of Pulse Origin. All of this covers the Fal'Cie and Bodum, is true focus, capturing Pulse L'Cie. So yeah, but again, going back to what Jova was asking, no, that doesn't mean all Sanctum L'Cie are like that. It's just because that the Fal'Cie wanted this particular L'Cie, aka Daj, to do that.
It basically
depends
and,
on
you see what I mean? You see what I mean now, Jova? The plot of this game gets more and more convoluted as it goes along. People talk about how Kingdom Hearts gets convoluted. The Kingdom Hearts is like fucking child's play compared to this.
You know what
I understand?
It makes sense. It's still a Disney product. It needs to appease to more younger minds.
Hey Pedro, I have a question.
Yeah.
If the Fal'Cie are so powerful enough to the point where they can literally give their L'Cie power specific to fulfilling their task, why the heck don't the Fal'Cie just do some of these tasks on their own?
I thank you, Jova, for asking.
Actually, Jova, you know what? We're not
telling you that.
Yeah, Tails is right. Stop thing, Jova. Okay, let me guess. Your theory probably is that, okay, well, judging from what we've seen of what the Fal'Cie look like so far, I'm guessing it's because, well, they have no arms, they have no hands, they have no way to talk normally, so I guess that's why they can't do shit. Right? That's your theory, I'm guessing.
Well,
okay,
that's
the thing.
My theory.
That's what we all thought. That's what me, Teo, and everybody who played this game thought. But then, there's going to be a certain twist at the end of this chapter that, let's just say, it's going to destroy what little coherency the plot has.
What? Can the Fal'Cie shapeshift?
You don't know yet, Jova.
You don't know yet. And I guess that joke doesn't really work. But yeah, we're on
anyway.
So yeah, we're on the Lindblom here.
So basically, we're in the airship of Cid called the Lindblom. Yeah, no, fuck you. Fuck you. The reference for the Final Fantasy IX only makes me wish I was playing Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This baby back here is a
Psycom vessel.
It'll deliver you to the Palamecia.
Okay, what's the
Palamecia? Supposed to be a reference to Final Fantasy II, but again, blah blah. Rinse and repeat what Pedro said.
For context of our uninitiated, what's the Palamecia? Well, the Palamecia is the enemy airship, basically.
Jova, remember the Superpope we have seen way back during the part where he was shouting things about being racist and stuff? Yeah, basically, now he's in the Palamecia, we need to go there to basically rescue Sazh and Vanille and kick his ass.
But I'll be okay.
Yeah, because, again, like I said before, that Superpope guy, totally not the villain, huh? Totally not the villain.
We're all in this mess.
Yeah, we're all...
Let's stick together.
Go ahead.
Named ugly.
Right. Enough with the bottom. It's go time.
The graphics in this game are definitely showing their age.
What do you mean?
It's interesting because back when this game first came out, even Spoony was saying that this was the most beautiful game he's ever played. Like, it is true. Back when this game first came,
2010.
March 2010 to be more exact.
Yeah. But and now remember, it was announced way back in 2006, if I recall correctly. And the first prototypes were made on a PS2, so it had a lot of upgrades during the process. There you go, Mr.
We didn't expect to see you here in person, Your Eminence.
This crisis threatens the entirety of Cocoon, my child.
Wait, I thought it was up to the Cocoon L'Cie. I mean, I thought it was up to the Cocoon Fal'Cie to decide everything.
You don't know yet, Jova.
So, wait. Believe it
or not, Joe, but you're actually onto something.
Oh, I think I get it. Since he's apparently the Superpope, he apparently has some way to communicate with the Cocoon Fal'Cie. Is that it?
He definitely has a way to communicate with them, but it's definitely not the way you're thinking. Just trust me.
All this talk is making me wondering what would happen if Final Fantasy XIII plot crossed over with David Cage.
We already brought that up, I think.
It's Darkstar. It's like asking in an 8-player Smash to combine 8 Falcon punches. You don't want to know the results.
We would probably have the stupidest thing ever created, like Shiroi said. Yeah, for as much as like Shiroi said, for as much as I hate to admit it, yes, even David Cage is better than this.
Heck, even I admitted it. I mean, I never fought it. Never thought it possible, but this game actually surpassed.
At least I can make sense of what's going on in the plot.
Who do
I
you
don't know
hate?
what's going on here.
Who do you hate, Joe? Jody or Lightning?
Jody?
Oh, really? I thought he hated Lightning more.
Well, for me, but I probably like Jody more than Lightning.
Joe was Bird. Don't mind. So here's the Palamecia Sanctum Skyfleet. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're going to invade the enemy airship because we're literally doing Snow's plan, charging, guns blazing.
Okay, I'm back now.
Because
literally in
America.
As we all established for this game so far, as we all know, real heroes don't need plans for some reason.
Well, like I said, my theory. Here's my headcanon. They know that they don't need a plan because the battle system is so easy, thanks to auto battle. Who needs a plan when you've got auto battle?
I don't think we're so smart to think 4-dimensionally.
The thing is, yeah, I outside of Sazh, yeah, I have to agree with you. Anyway,
so yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, don't worry. It's just tearing apart these poor bastards.
Joe, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Who do you hate more, Jody or Lightning?
Lightning.
There you go.
Sorry, Lightning.
Say it.
That's how much. That's the impressiveness of Final Fantasy 14. It's actually making Jova give David Cage credit. And trust me, Darkstar. Trust me too. If you were with us in the Beyond Two Souls playthrough, you would know. Like seriously, this is an achievement.
Right up there.
So yeah. This game has managed to surpass Beyond Two Souls as my most disliked game.
You can say it has gone beyond.
Jova. Yeah, Jova. Jova, like, I fear for you because, believe it or not, this is the best game in the trilogy.
You know what's even sad is that I'd actually say that Beyond Two Souls was more of a game than this. Beyond Two Souls is more of a
I'm going to disagree with that.
At least there's in this game at least there's more interface.
Yeah, at least in this game, you actually control a character and you go to places and you open treasure chests and shit. It's linear and scripted, yeah, but it's still more than just QTEs.
Well,
I suppose this will be the next frontier for Toriyama, making like a David Cage games.
Well, let me rephrase that then. I guess in some categories and in some areas, this is more of a game than Beyond Two Souls, but Beyond Two Souls feels more like a game in some other areas. Like, for instance, the amount of choice that Beyond Two Souls had. Yes, overall the ending is pointless, but I will give it this, that over the duration it does give you some choices that actually do affect some things. Whereas with this game...
The choices don't affect nothing. What the fuck are you talking about? If you're talking about Heavy Rain, then I would understand that. But no, Beyond Two Souls, the choices don't mean anything. It's like slightly different dialogue.
Well, and again, entire pieces of plot are completely pointless, like the sequence with the natives.
But true.
What I meant. When I said
but the Navajo chapter is definitely my favorite. It's so gloriously.
I can imagine why.
What I'm saying, Pedro, is that I know that overall it's pointless, but I mean, during the duration of the game, I guess when you're going after the different endings, and yes, I myself said the differences are minimalistic, and I still stick by that.
You need to defeat the guys before proceeding.
I think I get what Joe was saying. I think I get what Joe was saying. The fact that you at least have multiple endings that make you have to pick correct choices for said ending. That already makes it more of a game to Joe. Is that what you're trying to get across?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Whereas with this game,
By the way, I apologize for now. I apologize because I forgot where I was supposed to go to jump to. You see, Jova, remember back in that part where we were with Sazh and Vanille in the forest, where you were talking shit about those circles and indicate where you're supposed to jump, and you said it wouldn't be necessary because the jumps are scripted. Well, there you go. And I was saying to you, actually, Joe, but the places where you have to jump are not always clear. So there you go. I just proved it myself because I even played this game before, and even I forgot where I was supposed to go because it's circle.
Then in that case, why don't they like make it as easy for you to tell where you're going here as they did back there? I mean, it's so inconsistent.
You're asking.
Gee.
I said, speaking of alternates, you know what game we should do someday?
What?
Splatterhouse 3.
Never heard of it.
I actually haven't played the original series, but I heard it's a good beat 'em up, but it has multiple endings.
The third game has multiple endings.
Huh.
Basically, your friends
yeah, Pedro, in this case, you actually need to defeat the enemy first.
Unless you get bad endings.
How about that?
Okay. I forgot about it.
Anywho, going back to what I was saying about Beyond Two Souls, it's like, well, Beyond Two Souls has sort of, different amounts of choice, and there is still technically the gameplay elements here and there. Whereas with this game, like you yourself said, Pedro, I mean, it's pretty much you just do auto battle until the next cutscene. I mean, this feels even more like a movie than Beyond Two Souls. I mean, at least that can actually affect some things of what were going on in Beyond Two Souls. Whereas with this quote-unquote game, it's like you said, it's one long hallway to the end. I mean, you can't even really customize how your character develops because of how, the development system of the Crystarium, I think it was called, is.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It makes me wonder.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Metal Gear Final Fantasy Edition.
Funny.
You reminded me of Spoonie's vlog impressions of this game where he says, and I'm quoting here, like, okay, I don't have a problem with linearity because, well, when you get right down to it, a lot of games are linear and shit. But Final Fantasy XIII, you might as well strap my feet into a monorail and just, it's like I'm going on a ride, and that's pretty much what this is. You're pretty much like going on a ride.
We'll find another route.
Yeah. Despite the environment, you just can look at the minimap and see clearly it's all on.
You know what's interesting. You know what's interesting, guys. Might as well bring this up. Final Fantasy 15 was just announced. The demo of Final Fantasy 15, which I have, has recently been announced to be getting a 2.0 patch that's gonna fix some problems gotten from the feedback. Shiro, is still there?
Dun, 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 dun.
Goodbye.
There she is.
Okay, Shiro, back to part 4.
Okay, Darkstar, she's back.
Hold on, guys, hold on. Back in part 4 of our episode Duskay playthrough, Shiro, I remember you saying, and I'm quoting here, I gotta say this is quite a demo. I guess that's because they want to show off as much as they can for the survey feedback and shit. Well, this is exactly what happened. Basically, the feedback they got from the demo was, for example, the lack of a mini-map, the frame rate, and the camera system. So basically, the director is going to address all those problems in the 2.0 patch.
Hey guys, I don't know about you, but am I the only one who's sort of enjoying the Deoxys cameo? Yeah, somehow Final Fantasy XIII got Deoxys from that Pokemon movie.
Oh my god, I never actually noticed
that. Deoxys appeared.
Quick, use a Pokeball and catch it.
I used Netball.
I suppose that if you can catch Pyramid Heads with a Pokeball, you can catch these things.
But yeah, back to what I was saying, because Jobo talked about the mini-map. You know what's interesting? Final Fantasy 15, while it could use a mini-map, as I proved in our playthrough of episode Duskay, it's not essential. I could very well tell exactly where I was going, where I was, without the mini-map. It would be a nice addition, but it's not, imperative. However, I appreciate them, putting it in for the sake of, making things easier for some people.
Yeah,
however, this game, however, has a mini-map right from the get-go. Why? It's literally impossible to get lost in this game. I'm not even kidding. It's literally impossible. How do you even get lost here?
Maybe they want to give off the illusion that you could possibly get lost. Oh wait, how are we supposed to? Oh, never mind. The circle things are there.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Those circle things are necessary.
Yes.
You seem like you were talking. Did you want to say something?
Oh no, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Well, do you have anything to say? I guess.
there's nothing, the game's playing this for us, what do we say?
By the way, we are actually fighting now on the wings of a battle now of the airship. I don't think the airship is stationary because so in this case, basically just a small blows of wind will just blow us the fuck away.
Yeah, true. But to be fair to you, a lot of sci-fi stuff does this kind of thing. So
I suppose.
Tio, you just reminded me. I actually have a complaint to make about this section, if I may.
Go ahead.
You know what's sad is that Sonic 06 actually did this concept better during the Egg Weavering battle, because I know normally aesthetics... Allow me to explain. I know that normally aesthetics don't make a game or level, but this is one section where the game could have, taken the chance to make use of its incredibly huge budget, and maybe actually make the aesthetics more interesting and more tailored to, actually being on the wings of a battleship. Like, I don't know, not necessarily give it more epic music, since that doesn't really have to do with the appearance, but maybe make it more gustful, more windy, and more exciting. Like, make it like, stuff is happening in the background, like a whole airship battle or something. I mean, it's sad that Sonic 06 actually got this concept down better. I mean, that boss fight wasn't the best thing, but at least it still felt like you were actually having something of an epic climactic battle, whereas here, it feels awfully boring, and normally the whole skyship deck thing is almost never boring. Okay.
Well, you know what's sad? Jova just reminded me of something. You know what's sad, Jova? Even Chrono fucking Trigger, a game that came out in 1995, did this better.
Ooh, how did Chrono Trigger do it?
There's a little point in the story in Chrono Trigger where we're on fighting on top of an airship, but it's pretty much like this exact scenario, except in there you can actually have to fight the wind while you're traversing through it.
What game system was that game on?
Super Nintendo,
PlayStation, Nintendo DS, iOS. It's been released for a bunch of systems. I'm surprised they didn't make a Steam release.
The DS version is the better version.
Yes, because it has more extra content.
So I guess in that case, if we do a comment...
It's basically the PS1 version with the added extras and the Dragon... Believe it, Joe, you know how Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, was the character designer for that game?
Yeah.
You probably already heard of this. Well, believe it or not, back in the 1997, I think, when they made the PlayStation CD version, they actually got the exact same studio who made Dragon Ball Z to make the animated cutscenes for that game.
Yes.
And it looks just like Dragon Ball Z, so it's pretty awesome, actually.
Sweet. So in that case, I guess if
the DS version, the DS version has all those extras plus some new ones. So
I guess that means that we'll be doing the DS version for the channel.
Definitely.
Oh, hey, Vanille, what are you doing there?
Oh, hi, Vanille.
Wait,
there
hold
you
on.
go, Joe. Okay, Joe, you're about to get your answer to your question in the last part. So there you go.
Why isn't she strapped down to anything, or did he just rescue her or something?
I suppose even the villain just stopped caring.
Okay, so this is what actually happened.
Is enough.
He actually did shoot the gun, but he moved the gun away from his head at the last minute.
Oh,
well, so he's just ear blind.
But not because of the reason you think, Jova. It's not because of what you think. This is not actually a ploy. He didn't just come up with a ploy to fool the government. He just can't do it because he's too weak. He literally cannot do it. I'm not even convinced that's his reason.
Okay, in that case, I have quite the objection to make. So let me get
Jova, you don't need to. But the thing I moved in the previous part about the gameplay and story segregation is enough.
No. I actually have something to add here, though. I mean, not only this completely does away with his whole character development thing, gameplay-wise and story-wise. Not to mention the fact that how is anyone fooled by it? Oh, they weren't.
Jova, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah. So wait a minute. I actually want to know what. Could you elaborate, Jova? In ruining Sazh's character, both gameplay and story-wise. Could you elaborate on that? I'm actually curious.
Well, here's the thing, though. You tell me that it's apparently because he was too weak, but that's
yeah, exactly. He even said, "Why can't I do it?" and shit. Basically, he's too chicken to do it.
Well, yeah.
To be fair, there are real people who try to commit suicide and then at the very last minute chicken out because they don't have the fortune to do it. That's a real thing.
Oh, I get that. But allow me to explain. Basically, Here's the thing, though. His character arc has been building up to him sort of being more brave, and like, well, here's how I would have done it. It's like, well, have him not shoot the gun, but have it be that, you know, like, well, he's become more positive and more uplifted, so he decides to go ahead and fake his death. And that would actually make more sense.
In a video game so pretentiously dark, I don't think so.
So yeah, in
But
a
you'd
new,
think
in a
that they
new
would at least make
development,
it-
Jova at the same time called it, but not really. He called the accidental.
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
One will ask at this point why the hell they used that coffin thing to transport him away, but I guess it was for the scene.
So somehow Sazh managed to fake his death by getting stabbed in the neck.
Yes.
That's my line.
How did he do that?
I'm the one who.
Jill Labat did. She uses a baton.
Yeah, but it looked like she
No, Jova, you're not understanding. She didn't do that to his neck to kill him. She just wanted to capture him.
So he made it look like he died because of it?
Allow me to say something. Basically, Jova, despite what she said, Jill Labat's orders are actually not to kill them, it's to capture them alive. And there's going to be
they want to use them, basically.
So somehow
basically the Superpope has plans for them, but we don't know what exactly. Okay, so basically, here's what's going on right now. Basically, Vanille is about to tell us her story, so let's actually pay attention because this is important.
Before she says, I just need to point out, the government apparently fell for it and thought that Sazh somehow died from a baton.
No, they didn't
More like
think that,
the population, not the government.
The population, not the government. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, long ago, I think it was 100 years, if I remember correctly.
500.
Oh yeah, 500. Yeah, basically, Jova, 500 years ago, both Fang and Vanille were chosen by the fal'Cie to, you know, and to do some kind of shit, and they came to Cocoon.
So 500 years ago, day one? But I thought this has been going over the course of...
No. This is day one, 13 days before the start of the game. Basically, they remain... Basically,
as I mentioned, they are completely naked while crystallized.
Get used to that, Shiroi, because this trilogy loves to use the number 13 for plenty of things. Anyway, this is what happened. Yeah, you see, they were frozen into crystal, but they woke up 500 years later, and this is the day one where they won.
So Vanille is actually pretty old.
And look at that, Vanille is now a magical girl too.
Wait a minute, 500 years ago?
I'm not even kidding. This is literally Sailor Moon right now. What the
is.
She actually looks like Mami from quella Majima no Kamaji.
Except I don't like his character.
Yeah, except Sailor Moon is funny and charming. This is not.
Wait a minute, 500 years ago? Wasn't there something that happened 500 years ago in this game? Something to do with, what was it called? Ragnarok, was it?
Oh yeah, the Ragnarok thing. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. We'll get back to the Ragnarok plot point in the next part, Jova. So keep that on hold for now.
We woke up.
Okay.
On Cocoon.
This is awfully coincidental.
So yeah, basically they woke up on Cocoon 500 years later with a new focus. So
wait, I thought that being crystal freed you of the focus.
No, it did, but now the fal'Cie that branded them. Now, you know what? I actually have something else for you guys to do. So get out of that crystal prison. Basically, the fal'Cie has the power to remove them of their crystal prison when they need them again.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's just nice.
I wanted to.
The problem is that the problem is that none one from Cocoon even knew this was a thing because it's never happened. Nobody ever witnessed something like this. Fang and Vanille are the only ones who know this, and Vanille is not telling this to Sazh. And this is what gives Sazh new hope to live. If she woke up from a focus, then maybe Dodge will one day woke up from the crystal too. So basically, Vanille. This is Sazh now forgives Vanille because Vanille gave him new hope and shit.
Why didn't she just tell him that from the beginning?
Let me refresh your memory.
Because she's dumb.
She's a bad character, Jova.
You're asking characters to make smart decisions. Jova, didn't we already establish 13 parts ago that that these characters don't do smart decisions? Oh, the code thing. Pay attention to this part. Shiro, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, pay attention because actually it's not. Is it in this part? Let me check.
No, I don't. I think
so. It's like how many codes?
Okay. I think it is. Is it? No, it is. Oh, it's in the next part. Oh my God, Jill Labat is gonna have such a stupid cutscene. Guess what? Even Jill Labat is fucking stupid. But I'll bring it up when it happens in the next part because the code green thing. Theo knows what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Like,
don't worry. And you already mentioned, but yeah, we'll see that in full force when
I'm
it happens.
surprised. Normally it's code red.
True. Even if I did, Theo, it would be much better in context.
Code green. I've never heard of that one before.
Trust me, Joe, but you don't know yet. Anyway.
That statement has
I
such a
don't
double
relate.
meaning whenever we're playing this game.
So yeah, so basically what this means that the whole thing about Sazh losing the will to live and Vanille's regret basically was all basically it renders
Completely pointless.
Yeah,
Anything.
pretty much.
There was literally no reason for any of that. So yeah, like me and Theo said in the last part, everything having to do with Sazh and Vanille's journey is just filler.
I mean, I
And
guess.
it's so sad because Sazh was probably the best character of the bunch, and
Yeah.
you know,
Probably. I'd actually say certainly.
The only good thing
know.
I can gather out of this is that at least Saz's character overall isn't at least ruined by that. I mean,
Oh, don't worry, Joe, but we have lightning returns for that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, even 13-2, because you know when you really get down to it, even in 13-2, Sazh is not bad. You know, developed.
you know, guys, I get
Yeah.
the feeling that the Final Fantasy 13-2 is going to pull a Highlander to of sorts. Because, like, well, it seems like, well, the ending of this is setting towards, you know,
really,
getting rid of...
Jova. It will not rewrite completely.
I'm not saying-
the laws of-
I'm not talking about in terms of rewriting. I'm talking about I'm talking about in terms of
Actually,
being
yeah.
unnecessary. Because, like, well, the way this game seems to be going, it seems to be like, well, they're trying to find a way to get rid of the whole focus and the Lassie mark thing. So, I mean, like, well, if they're going to get rid of the Lassie thing, wouldn't that sort of have to do with getting rid of the problem overall? So, what, is there going to be all of a sudden a new problem out of the blue in the sequels?
Yes, there is.
It can happen. It already happened in a lot of media with sequels and stuff.
Well,
Basically,
but-
Even in Final Fantasy X too.
Like I said before,
Then again, I
they
guess I
wanted
should
this
be-
game to sell. They wanted this game to sell 10 million units, you know. And when they made this game, they weren't thinking of having sequels, so they made a self-contained story that has a beginning, middle, and definitive end. However, because the game has a definitive ending, and then they were commissioned to make sequels, they were like, okay, what do we do now? Basically, they had to retcon the ending of this game in order to make a sequel.
Wait, they're going to retcon the ending?
Yes, they're gonna.
Sort of.
Sort of. I would say completely, actually, but.
I know, but I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise.
Okay, fine.
Alright, so
So,
let's
yeah.
just wait and see then. For now, battling more Psycom mooks.
Yeah, this is a more gameplay-driven part, but oh well. The last part was incredibly story-driven, so I guess it evens out.
Oh, don't worry, we had plenty to talk
And
about
before
during
you ask,
that.
Jova, no, these mooks are actually consent about what we're doing. They do not suffer of generic mook syndrome, like for example Lazarevich's man in Uncharted 2.
Another interesting thing, yeah, like this part is only 30 minutes. The sad part is the sad thing is that the finale is over 50 minutes, and I know, and trust me, Joe, but believe it or not, that's actually as small as I could possibly make it. That's true.
Yes,
I literally start the finale in the very last save point, right before the last boss. I did everything in my power to make the finale part as small as I could, and yet it still went well.
Oh boy, sounds like we've got another marathon boss on our hands.
Not so much. Actually, no, Joe, it's not a marathon boss. It's mostly because there's way too much cutscenes, because they draw out the ending so madly.
As Star said, it's comparable to Metal Gear Solid 4 in terms of more cutscenes than gameplay.
But at least Metal Gear Solid 4 had an interesting story.
I know.
Oh boy.
I mean, that's the same. Yeah, it's true. Of course, you can. I also criticize Metal Gear Solid 4 for having way too.
I just mentioned the fact, not criticize it.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Yeah, this game pretty much commits the same sin as Metal Gear Solid 4 when you think about it. The problem is that at least Metal Gear Solid 4 had such a fantastic story that it was able to distract me from the problems. In here, I don't have that. Go ahead, Joe.
You know what I wish some games would do these days, since I think it is technologically possible? Like, well, in times when the game developers feel that a cutscene's going to take way longer, there's going to be a lot of story, why not try and add a bit of a visual novel element to a lot of the cutscenes?
Jova, they actually tried to do that, but they used quick time events.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about this game or stuff like that. I'm talking about games in general.
Oh, okay.
The idea of spicing up cutscenes for game developers is insert QDs, basically.
Well, I get that. Wait a second. Well, maybe try a bit of a different approach. Like maybe
hey,
go
Joe,
with more of a
hold on, Joe. I want you to try to guess what's Saz's plan.
Beat him up and he's gonna use the chick.
Charge in, guns blazing.
Isn't that been everyone's plan?
Yeah.
My guess is
Vanille's hacking.
and decided to get along with
Okay. If Vanille was an actual character that I actually liked, this would be kind of hot, but no.
No.
So does this mean that Vanille's now going to use the gun in gameplay?
Probably not.
Oh.
That would be fun, Jova. We can't have that.
No fun allowed. Bam.
Of course.
No.
Stop having fun.
Anywho, what was I talking about before that cutscene?
I love this one.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Vanille's being emo. Do I deserve to escape?
No.
No, I agree. She doesn't deserve to. So please.
So I guess Vanille's now going to be the downbeat one. How ironic.
Fortunately, she only has one cutscene in 13.2, and she's also barely in Lightning Returns. So I guess
we
I
have
can
to put up with Lightning and Lightning Returns.
True, but at least in 13.2 we don't have to put up with Lightning because she's also barely in 13.2.
But you told me that Lightning is really bad in Lightning Returns.
Oh yeah. Believe it or not, Shiroi, even though people actually the fans of this game actually like Lightning, they for some reason Toriyama thought it would be a good idea to have the main character be Sarah, aka Lightning's sister, played by Laura Bailey. Which mads me to no end because I've always dreamed of a Final Fantasy game with a main female protagonist voiced by Laura Bailey. It had to be 13.2. Why? Just why?
If only if it could have been a remake of Final Fantasy VI instead.
Poor Pedro.
I hate you. Not you guys, Toriyama. I mean.
Anywho, one more thing before we end. When I say that, they should try and go for a more visual novel sort of thing instead of the QTE thing. Maybe combine a bit of visual novel stuff for the
Joe, but we didn't Time and Eternity kind of do that. Time and Eternity pretty much viewed itself like a sci-fi novel outside of the gameplay.
Well, that's different because, it was viewing itself as that instead of combining two things naturally. What I mean is, maybe give something like a bit of an interactive cutscene. But then again, that sounds good on paper, but it's probably a lot harder to execute than I think it may be.
Very well. In that case, see you for the next part, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.